This is what you're actually paying for when you buy hearing aids. So I'm gonna come right out and say it. I am definitely part of the problem here. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Dr. Cliff, what problem are you talking about? Because you probably contribute to a lot of problems in society. And you might be right, but the problem that I'm talking about right now is that most people believe that when they buy hearing aids, the only thing that they're paying for is the advanced technology of those devices. And to a degree, that is true, because hearing aid manufacturers spend hundreds of millions of dollars every single year on research and development, as well as the production costs and servicing of their hearing aids. However, the cost for hearing aid manufacturers to do all of this is not even the majority of the cost. In fact, there are a lot of things that contribute to the overall cost of a pair of hearing aids. So why don't we just go ahead and talk about all the things that contribute to the cost of the hearing aids that you buy. But before I do me a huge favor, click the like button and make sure that you hit that subscribe button with notification bell so you never miss a newly published video. And let me know down in the comment section how much money you spent on your hearing aids if you have hearing aids already, and how much you're expecting to pay for hearing aids if you don't have them yet. And a huge shout out to Signia for sponsoring today's video. Signia has become a trusted name in hearing care by consistently developing solutions that prioritize both performance and user experience. Their latest platform, Signia iX, is built to support the way real conversations happen, dynamic, unpredictable, and often in noisy environments. One of the standout features of the iX platform is real-time conversation enhancement, which continuously monitors and adjusts to multiple speakers in real time. Whether you're at a busy dinner or navigating group conversations, this feature helps you stay engaged without losing track of who's speaking. Signia's augmented focus approach processes speech and background noise separately, making it easier to focus on the voices you want to hear while still staying aware of your surroundings. It's a practical solution for anyone who's ever struggled to follow a conversation in a noisy room. The iX line also benefits from Signia's improved processing chip, which enables faster and more responsive sound adjustments. This powers features like Own Voice Processing 2.0, which helps your own voice sound more natural, something many hearing aid users find challenging with new hearing aids. Alongside the popular Pure Charge and Go iX, Signia has also introduced their new BCT iX, designed for individuals who want more universal wireless connectivity using Bluetooth Classic. This is a great option for individuals who want to connect their hearing aids to more devices such as a laptop and desktop computers. If you're looking for a hearing aid that's responsive to your real-life conversation and wireless connectivity needs, the Signia iX series, including the new BCT iX, is definitely worth a closer look. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing that you're paying for when you buy a pair of hearing aids, and that is the gain and the output. And yes, I know I'm starting a little bit technical here. Gain is the amount of amplification added to a sound by a hearing aid. A very basic example of this is that if you have someone speaking at 65 decibels and the hearing aid picks up that 65 decibel speech and adds an additional 20 decibels to it to make it audible to you, it's giving you 20 decibels worth of gain. Now the output, on the other hand, is 85 decibels because 65 decibel input plus 20 decibels of gain equals 85 decibels of overall output. Now it's important to understand that different hearing aids have different combinations of gain and output capabilities. For individuals with more of a mild to moderate level hearing loss, you can get away with lower levels of gain and output. On the other hand, if you have a severe to profound level of hearing loss, you need a hearing aid that has receivers that are capable of producing a ton of gain and output. But just like my intro to amplification instructor, Dr. Mike Brown, taught me in my very first semester of grad school, when it comes to hearing aids, the thing that people are paying for is to make that sound audible again, and that comes down to the gain and output. The second thing that you're paying for when you buy a pair of hearing aids is the variety of different digital features. Digital features are all of the different things that hearing aids can do to sound above and beyond just making that sound louder for you. These are the things that everybody gets excited about and that, yes, I'm guilty of hyping up on this channel. Some of these digital features can include compression, expansion, directional microphones, noise reduction, Bluetooth connectivity, feedback controls, and many, many more. These features often improve the clarity of what you're hearing through your hearing aids, make different environments more comfortable to be in, and just improve the overall listening experience while you're wearing your devices. This often means reducing the road noise when you're in a car, or being able to isolate in and actually understand the person who's talking to you in a noisy environment, or even streaming audio directly from your smartphone into your hearing aids so you can listen to things with nobody else knowing. And yes, the more features you want inside of your hearing aids, the more those hearing aids are going to cost. The third thing you pay for is perhaps the priciest part of a pair of hearing aids, which is the professional services that you receive. Whether it's from an audiologist or hearing instrument specialist, these services often include the selection, the testing, the fitting, the programming, the orientation, and the ongoing servicing of your hearing aids. As far as selection goes, there is no one perfect hearing aid for everybody. Case in point is the gain and output discussion that we just had earlier. If you have a certain level of hearing loss, you had better make sure that you have a hearing aid that has the proper gain and output levels. I mean, if this part is not done right, then you're just wasting your money completely. This is also true when it comes to the digital features of your hearing aids. I mean, you have a certain severity of hearing loss which would require certain features, and you probably have certain goals when it comes to your hearing which requires other digital features. Your hearing care professional needs to spend enough time with you during your evaluation to identify exactly what you would need so they can make the right hearing aid selection. The testing, fitting, and programming of your hearing aids is also crucial to your overall performance. The testing includes electroacoustic analysis, which is a form of diagnostic testing of your hearing aids inside of a test box to make sure that they're meeting manufacturer specifications for gain, output, distortion levels, and noise levels. The fit of your hearing aids includes the physical setup of your devices, which includes selecting the most appropriate rubber dome or custom ear mold and vent size. This way you can prevent the leakage of amplified sound without causing occlusion. The programming includes applying the proper amount of gain and output at each frequency range of your hearing loss for average, loud, and soft level inputs. Ideally using real ear measurement, that is if you want to actually hear your best with your hearing aids. Real ear measurement allows the hearing care professional to actually measure the amount of amplification they're giving you by using probe microphone tubes inside of your ears and plotting it on their computer screen. Just the cost of the real ear measurement equipment and the time and expertise required by a hearing care professional adds to the cost of your hearing aids. And that's just on their initial fitting. They also have to customize all of the different digital features that you have inside of your hearing aids over the course of an entire fitting sequence. Of course, this is absolutely worth the additional cost if you want to get the full amount of benefit out of your devices. Then you have the professional orientation of your hearing aids. This often takes a considerable amount of time to instruct you on all the different things that you need to know about your hearing aids, including care and maintenance and adjusting your own program settings, because pretty much every hearing aid nowadays has access to a smartphone app for self-adjustment. And then you've got to consider all the ongoing support that literally happens forever when you have your hearing loss treated with hearing aids. Chances are your hearing is going to get worse over time, which means they're going to have to test your hearing at some point in the future and then go back into the programming of your hearing aids and make modifications to them. You'll also have to have professional maintenance done on your hearing aids as the years go by if you want to keep them in tip-top shape. And if anything ever goes wrong by accident, you need to make sure that the place that you go to has support staff that can help you, and all of that costs more money. And if you're looking for a hearing care professional who does all of that stuff extremely well, I highly recommend that you check out my website, hearingup.com, and finding a Hearing Up Network member in your area. All Hearing Up members have been vetted and are committed to following comprehensive audiologic best practices to ensure that you can hear your absolute best with your hearing aids. So if you actually want to make sure that you get your money's worth out of your devices, finding a Hearing Up Network member in your area is your best bet. Like I mentioned before, all of these professional services will add to the cost of your hearing aids, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it if they're actually doing all these things. Otherwise, you're buying hearing aids that are not going to work great for you. And it's definitely worth it compared to the fourth thing that contributes to the cost of your hearing aids, which is third-party administrators. Okay, so third-party administrators are companies that have taken over the administration of hearing aid benefits for insurance companies. These are companies like Epic, Amplifone, True Hearing, Hearing Care Solutions, United Healthcare Hearing, and a variety of others. Now, it's important to understand that not everybody's insurance uses a third-party administrator, but they are becoming extremely common, and it's actually difficult to find an insurance company that isn't using one. However, if your insurance company does contract with a third-party administrator, instead of the insurance company paying your provider directly for your hearing treatment, instead they basically pay money to the third-party administrator, and then the third-party administrator turns around and pays a small portion of what they get from the insurance company to your hearing care professional. And oftentimes you actually have to kick in additional money that goes to the third-party administrator. Essentially, this is a win-win for an insurance company because they have to pay less for your hearing aids while you have to kick in more. At the end of the day, if you ignore the fact that you've been paying probably tens of thousands of dollars for your premiums over the years to get hearing aid benefits, you're actually going to spend less money going through a third-party administrator to get your hearing aids. But essentially, you're going to end up paying in the end because your hearing care professional is likely going to cut services for you because they're being reimbursed such a low amount. On top of that, if you're someone who does not use insurance for your hearing aids, you have to remember that in order to subsidize the patients who are using their insurance with a third-party administrator, it causes them to increase the cost on their private pay patients. So regardless, this is going to add to the cost of your overall hearing aid treatment. So as you can see, if you add all of these different components together, you're going to be spending more than just a few $100s on a pair of hearing aids. In fact, if you are only spending a few $100s on your hearing aids, I would start to wonder what things are being cut out of your treatment. Regardless, hopefully right now you have a much better understanding of what actually goes into the cost of your hearing aids.